when you got dished out to LA, being a guy that was at the end of your career, you knew you wanted to go out on top. Was there any other options in your head outside of the Dodgers, or did you know that's where you wanted to go?
No, I had no idea where I was going to go. And a little backtracking, like I knew going into this whole year was going to be my last year. I would have got I got my 10 years on May 7th. I wanted to get that, but I just knew from a body standpoint and a mental. I said I got one more year left of me, and there's no way. Just knowing what the previous couple years, what I was going through, like in August and September, I'm like, there's just no way. But did not play good when I was with the Blue Jays. We didn't play good as a team. I did not play good individually. And I knew leading up to the deadline, I said, man, they're either going to trade me, or if no team wants to take me on, I'm most likely just going to get released, because the Blue Jays wanted to bring up some young guys, rightfully so. They gave me plenty of opportunities, and I just didn't take advantage of them. They treated me great from the get-go, but it got to the point where we started shipping everybody off, and then it was the last day of the deadline, and I was like, I don't know what to think or what's going to happen. I'm getting traded, or I might be done. And then end up getting called into the manager's office like 30 minutes before the game. I was in the starting lineup playing the Orioles, and bench coach DeMarlo Hill said, hey, need to see you. So I knew something was happening. And then John Schneider, our manager, had Ross Atkins, our GM, on speakerphone and said, KK, you're going to the Dodgers. And right away, my heart started beating, and I knew that everything that I just experienced was all a possibility, because they're in it every year, and they had a great team already. And going over there and seeing that was amazing. But I went out there and knew out west is my first time ever out there. Played out there plenty, but I'm an East Coast guy and all this, so I knew there was going to be a lot of things to get used to. And from the get-go, early on, it was one of those things. It was tough. They were trying to have me do all these different stances and everything, and I just could not get into my groove. And I knew, I'm like, these players are seeing me at my absolute, the worst I've ever been, in a way, just from the product I was putting onto the field. But played good here and there, and the guys really liked me just for who I was, and that helped me. I knew I was taking a lesser role from the get-go. We were acquired guys who were trying to get healthy, and I knew I was kind of like the guy to fill in for 2 to 3 weeks, and if I would have done good things, who knows what would have happened. But didn't play great out there, played good defense, but it was one of those things where I was thrilled to be out there, and like I said, just to have the playoff run that we just had was amazing. The playoffs were that was probably the most fun run I've ever had playing in my whole career, and I was only active for one series, but watching these guys and just buying into it, and those guys having a crazy level of focus was unlike anything I've ever been a part of. So it was amazing for me to experience, even for how long I've been in the big leagues, but what a blessing it was.
What about from a talent perspective? Had a great long career. Is Shohei one of those dudes where you're just like, what's going on?
Yeah.
The only guy? No one else?
Chills. He's different from everybody who we've ever seen. I'm telling you, man, this dude in the cage, I could sit here and talk about him all day, because before I get into his talent, the way he treats people, and 50-50, the night after he did that. Yeah. Just getting on his iPad, looking at his Japanese comics or whatever, he would just think nothing of it, just another day. No, truly, and when other guys are trying to be humble about stuff, it's I see right through that now. Hey, he's the man. Has every accolade, all the money, everything, and treats people phenomenal. So I will root for him for the rest of forever. And with that being said, I walk into the batting cage one of my first days. Oakland wasn't that batting cage is way out there, but when I first got to see him in LA, and we could watch guys' routines and do all that, this dude is hitting the ball 115 off of front toss. And I've never, the Rays or Blue Jays, you never are looking at your exit velo or anything in the cage. We never had that set up, and all this technology's taken off, especially the last couple of years. But I know when a ball is hit hard and when a ball is hit loud as can be. And once again, from the day I got there to the last game of the World Series, this dude, people are just amazed walking in that cage every day with how hard he can swing and how hard he can hit the ball. and we all get up there after and hit like BP. So he's DH every game. So in between at bats, he's taken like a round right before, like when he's up in 3 or 4 hitters, he's taken
Really?
6 to 8 swings off our guy, and he would like take 3 warm-ups, and his last 3, he would like grunt and hit, and I mean it would sound like a shotgun in there. And then me or other guys would go hit right after, and we look up at the track, and he's hitting 109, 115 consistently. We look up, get like a 96, 97, because you know it's BP and it's whatever, it's in a cage, a controlled environment, and no one is coming anywhere near it. But I've never seen anything like it, and he's one of one.
I'm fascinated about like where does he find the time in the day to do everything? Like,
I know.
I mean, you and I know what it takes to be to try to be good at one side of the game. I mean, I know he didn't pitch this year; he was rehabbing, but still.
I know he. Was
he still doing pitching stuff like throughout, even though he didn't throw?
Yeah, he would throw and have trainers would have a program with him and all this, but he was very structured with what he did, and I mean would go. He didn't really do a whole lot like leading up to the games, or I mean he would get his body ready and all that, but that hour before the game starts, and that's when he starts locking in and doing everything. But a lot of time, like we're all at our lockers, he's sitting here looking at pitchers, pickoffs, and times of the plates all day. Like you realize when I was there in the regular season, he stole 30-some bags and he didn't get caught once. He got caught a couple times in the playoffs, but I'm like, I think he was 32 of 32 in the second half of the season. I'm like, and none of these aren't even close, but you sit here and watch what this dude's doing at 3:30, 4 o'clock. He is like slowing this down, watching over and over. And if you give him any room, like he wanted to go and he wanted to swipe bags, obviously 50-50, but a true student of the game and did his homework like no other, and got nothing but respect for him. But he's different than everybody else, and everybody knows that. Like you get great players like Mookie, Freddie, Kershaw, who's seen so many different guys and people blown away by him.
They're all in awe.
In awe every night.
It's almost like, I mean, you got Mookie. He's obviously a superstar. Him and guys like Freddie are like in the back seat to Shohei.
Yep.
And it's
crazy.
Just everyone's cool there because he's just on his own
Yeah,
level.
and I mean, that's another thing about the Dodgers. You hear about like the big three future Hall of Famers hitting 1, 2, 3 every night. Shohei, Mookie, Freddie, rightfully so. But I'm like, man, you don't forget about 4 through 9 any given night. Like there wasn't a weak spot, really, it seemed like. And I mean, watching these guys hit every night and just play and dissect teams was incredible. Never seen anything like it. And true credit to everyone over there for just like that locked in major focus, unlike anything I've ever experienced. And we won a World Series because of it. And I knew for so long that it's not easy to win those, and those are the little things that it takes. I mean, those teams who want it more and got to execute at that perfect moment. It's those little things like seeing a tip or something like that where made the opposition pay over and over.
What was that celebration like? I saw you, Dave would call the MVP up and you would like juke it out like you were going to.
I'll tell you right now, who was it? No, not Kiermaier. Sorry, KK, I love you, but no, not you. Who was the year from Shohei Ohtani?
You guys are getting pretty hammered.
We were having fun. I like to keep it loose and have fun in as many ways as I can. But the parade was one of the best days of my life. Everybody was just clicking on all cylinders. Everybody's having a blast, and definitely had a lot of liquid courage throughout the whole day. Then Mookie had like this after party at his house. That was
he was doing the podcast, right?
Yeah, and then we did a little episode up there, but his house, like in the hills of California, and it felt like we won the World Series, and it was just the coolest way ever for me to like exit out of my big league career. Next day, catch a flight back to Florida with my family, and it was just everything I always wanted to experience and be a part of, and thankfully the Dodgers traded for me. And
who surprised you with the booze? Who could booze the most? Did the Japan guys get after it? Put on?
Yamamoto, he's the man. I feel like he can't drink a lot, but he's always down to have a good time. I don't know. I can drink some beer. I feel like a lot of guys are always like, man, you always like this? But I like to, and plane rides and bus rides, I like to have fun. But I don't know. I feel like the team wasn't like huge drinkers, but definitely, I mean, guys could put down champagne and some beer in them celebrations. So that was
plenty of practice at it.
Yeah.
Do you guys think this is the Dodgers next, 5-10 years here is like one of the scariest teams?
Set up to be.
Seen?
They're set up to be. I mean, obviously, injuries and stuff are always a factor there, but they're set up really, really well.
And that's what I love about baseball or any sports. Like, you can sit here and be as good as you want on paper, but at the end of the day, you got to go out there and play. And especially like for us, I feel like the hardest series for us was the Padres.
It does seem like that's the biggest rivalry right now in baseball. Like, you can tell the Dodgers and Padres hate each other.
Both really good teams at the moment with star power. I mean, it's a good formula for a good rivalry.
Seems like no one talks to each other, though, on the field when you guys are playing. Like, no one's
That's
really
the way it should be, though, man.
That's a good rivalry.
But you see a lot of teams now, a lot of guys just chat when they get on base. And
I think I've said, I did it my first few years just trying to, like Adam Jones, I really respected him a ton, and I would do it but I would not go out there and shake hands and hug. I would just do one of those. And nowadays, like, guys are just chatting it up and whatever. I'm way different in that sense, but we're
old school in that sense.
Yeah, old school. Right. And I'm like, man, exactly. How can you call this a rivalry when dudes are sitting here like hugging before games, hat backwards, like just laughing it up? Once again, have your fun. But for me, like, when we talk about rivalries and stuff nowadays, I'm like, everyone's too buddy and all that. But the game, game's changing, adapting in so many ways, and I'm glad I'm getting out at the right time because I tried staying old school as much as I could.
What else are you touching on? You mean like pimping home runs and stuff like that?
Yeah, everything, like dudes like screaming into the dugout when you hit a double when you're down 5 or 6, and the home run, like the celebrations in the dugout. I'm not a prop guy for home runs because I've always sat here and when I was at the Rays, I said, fellas, as long as we're here, we are not having a prop in that dugout. I'm sorry. I was here when we sucked. We have made this a really good team. We all got to the big leagues by being authentic and not trying to be like anybody else. We did what we had to do to get here.
What about this?
And when you do it, yeah, that was tough. That was tough for me too. I didn't want to do it. That was tough. I haven't never even talked about that. I'll get into that. But hey, when you're down 6 or 7 in the 8th inning and you have a prop that you hit with a home run, if you're that makes it look awful in that moment where you're putting a football helmet on or whatever, celebrating a home run when you're still down 7 in the 8th. But that's my opinion. That's how I view it. Mm-hmm. But once again, I'm old school and I just not into that stuff. And yes, the Dodgers, the Freddie dance. I think Freddie, he had a little bit of wine one night and he just started like dancing maybe from what I was told. And like, they're like, hey, we're going to do this for the celebration. Oh my God. And for me, the couple of times I did do it, you do it on an extra base hit. And the times I did it, I just tried doing it real easy, just move on. Cause I didn't want to do it. And guys are like, hey, you got to do this. I said, I'm not practicing it. I'm not doing it. I don't care. Like, let's just, I hit my double. No.
So you were getting graded on it?
Never. Would never do that. I've never attempted the gritty, all the viral, like I don't do it because I swear it's like, I don't know, everyone just is so caught up in what everyone else is doing. And I intentionally like don't do these things not to like fall in to that trap. But I knew when I came over here, I'm like, all right, if I hit a double or a homer, I can't just do it. My thing the last couple of years, I do this thing like slight work. Like, no, that ain't nothing, just slight work. And I did that with the Rays, Blue Jays. And when I came over here, I'm like, there's no way I can do that. I have to do this because I have to be a part of the team. I can't be the only one. I just got traded over here. I can't be like, I'm not doing it. They're about to be like, okay, you're released. Or, the teammates would have been like, okay, why does this dude think he's too cool? Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I did it, and it was whatever. But thankfully, I only hit like 3 or 4 extra base hits. So I didn't have to do a whole lot. Just do it in the dugout when someone else does it. But once again, you adapt and you do whatever. It's kind of a thing now but now like Little League World Series, my kid will hit a homer in the backyard, and he'll spike his bat. And I'm like, what is going on? But it's 2024, and, things are evolving.
Retirement post-playing career? What are your plans moving forward? You got anything in the works, or just chill
So
for
I
a
would
while?
like to be help coach outfield defense in some capacity. I would like to maybe do like a special assistant job in a couple years and just be very part-time, but being able to float around the minor leagues and the big leagues and maybe get a couple more big league flights under my belt. I'll miss those more than anything throughout my whole career. But I know I have a lot to offer, and I feel like I can teach outfield defense really, really well. And I'd like to put that on display. And then off topic, I love to bow fish, and there's these fish called common carp. That's the most common thing to shoot, probably. And I've been obsessed with trying to track these things. I never know where they're going to be or what they're going to do. And I'm going to try to, I've already been in contact with like several people trying to get like acoustic telemetry receivers so I can like implant them in fish in my lake up in Indiana and try to track them for a year and see if I can do that and just see where they go and like track the data and input all that. I've loved fish and everything nature from a young age, but ever since I bow fished, and there's so many nights where it's like, we're going to do great, don't see anything, and there's other nights where you don't know what you're going to do and you have awesome nights. So we sit here and track the moon phase, the barometric pressure, all these things, and I'm going to really try to figure them out and see where they go certain times of the year, and that would bring a lot of joy and satisfaction to me. So I'm hoping I'm able to accomplish that, but that's like my off-the-wall thing away from baseball that
That's awesome.
I want to do. So hopefully we can make it happen.
4-time Gold Glove winner, Platinum Glove winner, now a world fucking champion.
World
Kevin
champ.
Kiermaier went out on top. Congrats on a great career.
Thank you.
Congrats,
Thank you
man.
guys
Thanks
for
for
having
coming
me.
in.
This was great.
Yep.
Thank you.
ご視聴ありがとうございました。チャンネル登録と高評価よろしくお願いします。